talker, right? Like we're talking about over talkers, and I tend to believe that women like to interject, interrupt, and over talk often, right? More so than men. However, and this is King talk, men are extra talkers. See, the problem is a lot of guys, and unfortunately, I fail at this myself. We talk too damn much. And so, and then as soon as somebody want to interject or interrupt, we get mad, say, damn, can I finish or whatever? But you've been talking for 5 minutes and you talked about 3, 4 different subjects while your ass was talking for the last 5 minutes. So if you in an argument, fellas, with your girl and she interjects or she interrupts or she over talks you, did you talk for the last 10 goddamn minutes? Is she lost in the sauce and the translation is all gone because you moved on to 4 different topics or you touched on 4 different things, and she's supposed to, in her response, once you finally finish, go back and touch on each one of those 5 things that you did? Should she take notes, or should we be succinct? That's the term. Men particularly, because men tend to talk too damn much. Women tend to over talk. Men tend to talk too long. Men, we need to be more succinct. Where if we want to have a conversation about a few different things, like JR just said, throw out that one point and give her an opportunity to respond. And then you won't get over talked. But if you throw out that one point and then you say, okay, fuck it, I want to keep going. And we know another thing that we do, men, we'll say the same thing 3 different times. We'll say the same shit. We're trying to emphasize something 3 different ways. I am guilty of this. Now, my argument typically is, because I don't think you got it the first time and shit. That's what I usually say. You know, I'm only saying it a different way because I don't think that I looked at you and you didn't look like you understood what the fuck I was saying the first time. So I have to say it 3 different fucking ways. I say it in Spanish, French, and English. However, that's not right. And I know, and that's just a personality flaw of my own that I'm trying to work on. I'm an old man. I don't know if I'll ever fix it, but I know that that's a problem of mine. Even now, as I'm speaking in this mic, I'm talking too long. And so we have to learn, gentlemen, kings, to be more succinct with what we have to say, get our point across, and allow somebody else to speak so they won't overtalk us.
Sometimes men, real quick. Yeah, I would say sometimes men just talk too long anyway. You know, and when you talk too long, you say too much, and then you bury yourself, whatever it may be. Sometimes just keep it short, brief, straight to the point. All that long talking, you want to say some shit that you probably was gonna regret. But go ahead, Cloud.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Shannon. Would you also say that there's like a disparity between the attention spans between men and women? Because I did notice that while you were talking, that you did rephrase or re-say kind of what you were saying in a couple ways. But at no point did I have the urge to interrupt you, and I don't think any of the other guys on the panel had the urge to interrupt you. So, I think that maybe that might be where a lot of us as men are failing in conversation with women, because I think we're used to having conversations with men in a way where we could go on and say the same thing in multiple different ways, and dudes just gonna sit there like word. Whereas women want to just be, women want to give their, they want to give feedback throughout the entire conversation. So maybe I think what you said to me was kind of profound, because I never looked at it from that perspective. But would you agree, or do you think that there's a disparity in the attention span?
Absolutely. We speak Martian. We from Mars. We from a whole different part of the solar system. We over here, we speak Martian, and our Martians know how to speak to each other. They speak Venetian, and they know how to speak to each other. When the Martians try to speak to the Venetians, we get lost in translation. And so my Martians are patient with me. They could just sit there and they could be like, yeah. Oh, Shan's saying that shit again. Okay, cool. Oh, Shan said it the 3rd time a different way. Same thing he said the 1st time, but I like how he said it the 3rd time. That's cool. And then when Shan finally fucking finishes, I'll jump in. That's what men do. Women, we say it one time, and we talk about the 2nd time, she wants to jump in. She's like, damn, I heard you already. But that's how they talk over there. So yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right, man. Now, what's the solution? Do we have to have an intermediary every time? Do we need a translator? Do we have to have a therapist to explain to us? Should we type it in a fucking text message since we can't say it face to face? That happens a lot too. I used to, in my past marriages, I used to do? I had to record shit. I get into I don't know if you guys have done this. I don't know if anybody else that's watching the show has done this before. I get in an argument with my ex. I had to bust out the damn recorder and record stuff because I'd say I said something. She said I didn't say it a certain way. And I know I said it a certain way. So I was like, I don't even trust that you're hearing what the fuck. I had to record stuff. And then I scroll back to the recorder, play it back to let her know what I actually, because we are lost in translation. And I got to use a fucking iPhone to record our argument so she won't blame me for saying something. Or you know what I also get? That you should have said it a certain way. Why are you saying it like that? You said it with an. I'm like, I was nice as fuck. No, you wasn't nice. And I'd be like, damn, I was. I had to play it back, show how nice I was. Crazy, man. So it's just we two different planets, man.
Yeah,
my fault. Go ahead, Jam.
I was just gonna say, if you ever wanted to do a recording, make sure you do it on the front end of the conversation, because if you was to put it in the middle, then that's going to alter how she's having a discussion. So make sure you do it on the front end before you start. Set the tone in the beginning. Go ahead, Hank.
No, I was going to say, Shan, did you hear the word asshole after you did
it? So I think y'all super cooked this. Hank with the setting boundaries within the conversation about things you're gonna stick around. Like y'all, everything they said was on point. And I think, like, in order for us to have successful relationships, like with women, what Shan's saying about we speaking two different languages, that could not be more true, right? That, like, I understand, like, in the dealings with women, I kind of learned how to translate it into something they can hear. And you know how I know that the women can hear me well in what I'm saying? It's when the men usually don't agree with what I'm saying, even though I know this is their viewpoint. But I'm saying it in a way that I know the women can actually hear it. And if I was to rephrase the exact same thing and say it to the men, the women might not hear it. I can tell the difference in how we perceive things. And the skill of being able to sit and let somebody get something out, I believe y'all all right. It's emotional regulation and impulse control, and having the ability to sit down. And what I try and do is run all my thoughts through logic, right? So no matter how explosive the feeling may be, I take it in and I put it through that translator. Just like I'm translating what women say to me, I'm translating my feelings for something. And how can I translate this into a logical response? And sometimes that might require me to woosah in my head, like, that's wild. But okay, this is the answer to that, because maybe it's something in there I could glean from it that's worthy of speaking on, right? So that's why I tend to try not to argue with people. But these panels help me a whole lot, because in real life, violence is always a possibility. It's no possibility on the panels. So I don't want to be engaging in the back and forth, yelling and arguing with somebody. So like he said, I'd rather walk away than sit there and yell back and forth, because I can't touch you. So, you know, and that's why I don't argue with women, because I'm not hitting them. So,
Marcus, you got the patience of a saint. You were on a panel the other day, last week, with a young lady who's very controversial, and she was trying to bait you. And man, I saw you gather yourself multiple times, and you handled it well. You navigated the conversation well, even though she was literally she was throwing darts. You handled that shit really well.
A lot of darts, because I normally don't even be like even caring like that. I was like, damn, you about to draft me into the gender war. I'm not going. I'm not getting drafted into this gender war. I think I even told her, like, hey, I'm not interested in this gender war stuff. That's not my aim. Nah, yeah. Some people was mad they wanted me to fight with. I'm like, bro, that's proven a point that we as men don't have impulse control. I'm just gonna put on a masterclass of how to not respond emotionally and be the example of what you saying we not.